Just waiting for the notifications to go out. Boy, is that dark. I guess that is better. Turn my streaming light on here. Let me see. Maybe if I do this. Reflect it off of that thing. That's not so bad. Good evening, Dave. Thanks for joining. Dave, I can always count on you. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. MJ here. It's, well, let's see. Excuse me. It's Thursday night here in Taiwan, and my wife and I and Phoenix, our daughter, have taken a few days off, and we're down in Schokolake County in Taiwan. Not yet, but I do have this. I'm going to be showing this later. This is, let me turn this around. I got my streaming light here. This is strawberry beer. And, hey, look. This is amazing for Taiwan. I can see my breath. Oh, look at this. I'm going to do this for 10 minutes. You can never see your breath in Taiwan because it doesn't get that cold. I'm trying to manage this. It's like too bright. I've got a auxiliary light here. I want to say hi to everyone. We're in Schokolake, and we're at a place that it's basically a chocolate house. It's a resort, hot spring resort. So it depends on the beer. I had some today. I had some the homemade ones up here, draft beer, and it was very strong. It was red. I actually posted a picture in the late night group that you saw because you are in that group. And the flavor was very strong. It was nice, really nice. I didn't realize that beer and strawberry would match so well. This is great. I don't have to talk very loud at all. I can just kind of sort of whisper tonight. Now, this is a hot springs resort, and we're having a great time here. So, hey, Dean, how are you? That's okay. Don't worry about that. All right. So we are in Schokolake and enjoying the hot springs. Now, I've been having trouble with my back lately. It's been bothering me. And my knee, my left knee, because of the way I get in and out of the car, it really just, it really gets to me. But yeah, we're here. I've been enjoying the hot springs. I took one in the afternoon. And the thing is, Phoenix wants to come in with me, you know, and she's 6 years old, so I wear my bathing suit. I think it's the right thing to do. But she's in the hot spring with me today and just splash around, loving it. And the hot springs, when I'm sitting down it's a huge tub. You could probably put 4 people in there. Stone tub. It's actually terrazzo. The water like comes up to my chest, so it's pretty good here. Pretty good height. Now you hear how quiet it is. There's nothing here. Hey Matthew, how you doing? Good to see you too. You hear it? There's like no noise. There was a frog earlier that was chirping, and that's funny because Phoenix was actually scared. But now the funny thing is, this is strawberry country here. We went strawberry picking today. It was great. I should put some of those videos on YouTube. But I streamed a little bit to our line group directly this afternoon. But we got like a half a kg or a kg of strawberries or something. What's funny is they're more expensive if you pick them yourself than they are if you buy them. It's crazy. But because of this area, strawberry area, the Suntory strawberry beer is very popular. It only has a 3% alcohol, so it's not. Yeah, it actually it's not like a field that you would think. They're actually in long planters, and they're elevated. So she was walking through there, and they're like face height for her and face height for me. But this is made by Suntory, the Japanese company. It's only 3%, so it's not really beer, so to speak. It's almost just like a soft drink, you know. But it says it contains. I'm not good in Japanese, but that's a Chinese word. It says it contains alcohol, but not that much. So they just want you to know it's not like, you know, strawberry soda you could give it to your kid to drink, you know. Anyway, so we're gonna try this. Something else I saw today This is interesting. It says it's basil peanuts. Look at this. Ah, light looks good. These look really good. Now, I don't know if this is like one big package or if it's just a thing that, you know, like little packages. Oh, yeah. Well, I like that stuff. I mean, that's great. Yeah, Matthew, I like that. I don't even see my breath, but I see it. Anyway, so I'm going to try these because everybody knows I'm a big fan of basil. I got another one that's just, it's the whole front picture of this is just nothing but red peppers. You know, so we're going to try this in a minute with some of the strawberry beer. Now, in Taiwan, we like to drink beer with ice, and this was, it's not very cold. It was in 7-Eleven out in the front by the counter. So I got my usual, you know, travel stainless steel cup. It's got ice in it. I'm going to put the strawberry beer and drink it in that, even though it's ice, and it probably, a lot of people in the Western Hemisphere are cringing when they think of ice and beer, but Dave will tell you too, with the travels in Asia, a lot of places, especially in Southeast Asia when it's really hot, they drink beer with ice in it. Now let me show you this. Moon up there, but there's nothing out here. It's a nice little place. The restaurant, the main restaurant over there where they sell all the chocolate stuff. And, oh really? Oh, see that for me, that would have been love at first sight for me, Matthew, right at the top. I love the wasabi. But that place closes at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you know. And I was over there this afternoon drinking some of their strawberry beer. A nice hot spring bath, and I gotta tell you, relaxing. Man, I fell asleep. The other thing I got too, this area is also known for turmeric, and they have medicinal turmeric. And they've got the, you know, the mother root they call it, and the daughter roots and stuff. And you can buy daughter root for cooking, or you can buy like mother root. So, oh yeah, yeah. I think. Actually, the funny thing is I'll get back to the turmeric in a second. Phoenix loves wasabi. She loves it because it makes her nose feel funny. You know, we call that tong pizza in Chinese, and she likes that tong pizza kind of flavor. And I do too. And I told her when she was little that she would like that, and she, of course, you know how kids are. She kept saying, "No, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to like it," but she does like it. But the turmeric, I found a turmeric-based balm, and because I blew a disc in my early 40s or late 30s, and I've been having, like if I get stressed or if I pick up a lot of stuff, body mechanics, I joke about, it's my new religion because I don't violate body mechanics, but things happen, it makes my lower back really feel distressed. And I took a hot springs bath, and I mean I cranked up the heat on the water, and I put this turmeric stuff on my back, and it was like, after the heat, it was like ice. I have never felt, because there's icy cold, and there's Bengay, and there's all kinds of these different, types of ointments and mentholatum that you have, mostly in the Western world. They got them in Asia too, but the brand names are all different. And this is the coldest I've ever felt. I felt like I had an ice pack. It's amazing. It's great. I can't wait. Listen to this. I can't wait till I get a headache so I can try it. That's not what I mean. I mean, the next time I try it, I get a headache, I'm going to try it on my temples because it's got to work. Got to work great. So I'm not looking forward to getting a headache, but I'm looking forward to trying that as a cure, if you know what I'm saying. I know it sounds weird. All right, let me pop this open. I want to try this. Now, this is Suntory brand. Whoop. Well, that was stupid. I'll get that later. It doesn't matter. That's just the top. I just don't want to forget it. This is Suntory brand, and Suntory now owns Jim Beam, believe it or not, the famous, they call it Beam Suntory is the new company. Jim Beam, the famous bourbon. Now, my wife is drinking this last night. She's drinking it tonight, too. And, oh, it smells great. It smells, it's unmistakable. It smells like real strawberries. I don't know how much is real or how they do it, but it smells, like real strawberries. So this is going to go over ice. Oh, look at it. It's not red. Look at it. See? It's clear. So that means there's no artificial flavor. I mean, excuse me, it means there's no artificial color, which I like. Because you know, the inside of a strawberry is white. It's only the outside that's red, you know. Strawberry meat is white, so it always like was weird when I see that pink color. All right, here we go. Oh, that smells delicious. Oh, that's really good. Oh, if you can find this strawberry Suntory beer, I highly recommend it. Oh, this is really great. I got to do. I'm going to pass by that 7-Eleven on the way out of here tomorrow on the way home. I'm going to grab some. Not all places that I've been to actually have that. So let's look at our broadcast details. Okay, so we still have the bots are still, yeah, cheers, thank you. The bots are still low. The viewers are still low, but that's good. Maybe they got rid of the copy bots too. I hope they did. I don't mind if the views are low. Those are fake views. I just don't like it when we've got all those copy bots, you know. All right, now before we go any further, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by ivideo.com.tw, and we are out in the middle of nowhere, and we're using their Wi-Fi box, unlimited 4G. And for those of you who are viewing on YouTube, you can look on the description of this video and find a 10% off coupon. Good for any deal that they have, and repeatedly, not just the first time you use it, but anytime you use it, anytime you want to order from them. SIM cards from for use all over the world, particularly Asia. In Europe, they do service the Americans now also. And yeah, they are always adding new countries. And of course, on the other side, TaiwanLive.tv, my infrequently updated website. It's our companion website, and we have a page for the late night show, which is what I do here. This is just an informal thing. Someday we're gonna invest a lot of money in it and turn it into a real show. Hopefully, it won't be like Wayne's World, you know, where it's destroyed because of commerciality. But no, that's not going to happen. And so if you use the pull down on TaiwanLive.tv and you look at the late night show, there is a QR code if you want to join us in the late night group on the Line app. It's a multicultural group and get along great. We try to keep the politics down. Of course, you know, things affect people, and we always like to hear what's going on in individual respective countries, but we try not to make it like a nationalism and ethnic pride. I think is wrong. So there you go. We don't like to get into that. We believe in humans. We celebrate humanity. So that, my friends, is a good brew. We need a new sponsor. I got 2 cans tonight. This is a Suntory. Let me do this. I'll stick on label. I'll show you in a second. That's all Japanese. There's a couple words we can read in Chinese, but there's got a stick on label for Chinese. It makes it easier to see. Suntory Spirits Limited. See, and it actually has the Tokyo address on it. But if you look on the bottom at suntory.com.tw, so there is actually. It feels like individual packages, but I could be wrong. All these Taiwan packages have notches in them, so I should just be able to go like this and pull it right across the top. There you go. And yes, they're individually packaged. Great, because I was hoping that I wouldn't like ruin this whole thing. I'll show you this on the back camera. It says only one on the top. Only one. See? Look at this. Beautiful. Here they are, and they're kind of a green color. That's the natural color. All right, I can't wait. High food. Now, one thing I didn't tell you was, I can't eat this yet. This is the word for 9, and this is word for towers. This is 9 towers. This is a special kind of basil that we have in Asia, and I'm a little bit confused because I know Thai has what they call the holy basil. Then there's the basil they have in Europe, but I'm relatively certain that this is the same exact stuff that they have in Thailand. There are different flavors and classes of basil. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not an expert, but I know we've always said, even in Taiwan, we say, oh, we want Thai basil, or we want Taiwan basil, you know, like that, or we can even say like Italian basil. But this is 9 towers, and so this is not the basil that you would use in Italian food. That's a lot more aromatic. And I'm going to tell you right now, just this one little, this pea-sized peanut has incredible aroma. It's not sweet at all. A little bit salty. There it is. It's like a basil leaf. It's like a peanut wrapped in a basil leaf, but it has cooked basil flavor. Not everybody likes raw basil, which I understand. And some of the dishes that we have here in Taiwan, the basil is par cooked. It's like for, especially with deep fried foods, they just blanch it in hot oil for a split second. These are out of this world. Really nice, natural, real basil flavor. I've never had this before. Never had these peanuts. I've never had anything like this. I've never had outside of a dish, you know. I never had a basil flavored snack before. This is, And some of the peanuts are stronger than others, obviously. And the peanuts have they're deep fried or oil fried. Back in the old days, when I went to Thailand a lot and stayed at my friend's resort out in the middle of nowhere, they had raw peanuts. Yeah. I wouldn't surprise me. Dave, you got to come here and stock up on this stuff and bring it back to Japan. These are fantastic. I'll show the package again in a minute. But at the resort, they had raw peanuts. And when I felt like cooking them, I would go over and draw a wok full of hot oil and just throw the peanuts in there, stir them around for 3 minutes and strain them out. And deep fried peanuts are incredible. And what you do is, just before the peanuts come out, you take some of that basil and you throw it in the oil, and then you take it out together. But it doesn't taste like this. This is amazing. So here they are. The 9 towers basil. And they are, thankfully, individually wrapped. Now, this also means, this must mean, because it's the same company, same production, this must mean that the little spicy ones that I have are also individually wrapped. Oh my goodness. That's fantastic. All right, so we're not doing so hot on our number of views tonight, but you know, we don't have any trolls. That's good. I'm not known for having a tremendous amount of views. All right, so these are so good. I might have to sign off just to eat these. I forget how much these were. I think this whole thing was $6. Made in Taiwan. Anyway. Original Taiwan product. Now let me do this for a second. Now this resort is pretty interesting because they specialize in chocolate. And the name that I put in there, no, it's not bad at all. Not bad. the name that I put in the title is the English name. It's kind of like a messed up romanization of chocolate, but it might be a foreign language. I'm not sure. So when you walk in the door, they've got this big, look at this. Phoenix walked right over this and said, "Papa, look at this." Big piece of chocolate with a bite taken out. So this is Schokolake, I don't know. Looks like Schokolake. But this is a romanization of chocolate. These are the 3 letters here that mean chocolate. Is that a real brick? Yeah, it's a real brick, yeah. Yeah. Yep. And they've got, I have to move the chat box, it looks like, because 1 or 2 words get cut off on by the buttons. Oh, let me see, I'll just go full screen mode here. Let me just do this. And behind me, like Dave said, it looks like a news desk. This is the map of cocoa producing countries, and they're in yellow. And of course, they're all, you know, closer to the equator. And basically most of it's between the 2 tropics. This is where I'm sitting, and that's my light. Now out here is a big wide walkway. You can't see anything really. But there's a nice field over here. There's a stage actually, and a nice wood-covered area if you want to sit in the afternoon. But there's nothing out here but a frog. Yep, Ivory Coast was in there. Hey Mike, nothing but a frog. And the moon up here. Some waning gibbous tonight. So peaceful, I love it. It's a gate to another section over here. But I haven't been able to find this level of quiet in Taiwan for a long time. Because even when we go camping, believe it or not, I'm gone camping, and there's people that bring, like, you know, their karaoke microphone with them, and they're in a tent singing. It's a 2-story building. They've got a store in the bottom, and they do sell distilled strawberry liquor and also strawberry beer and wine. They've got a strawberry dessert wine. I didn't try it. It's probably too sweet, but I did not try it. But our room's on the 2nd floor, and we have a hot springs room. Has a big mirrored window that opens into the back on the roof, and there's nobody back there. So this afternoon we had the shade up. Now you really can't see because the resolution of the camera, maybe barely you can see. If you look carefully, I'm going to hold it still. There's a line here. That's a mountain range back there. Let me see if I can. I wonder if I cover the. No, that's not going to do it. There's a mountain range right back there. You really can't see it. I can see because I know where it is. But we went to eat yesterday, and yeah, just it's a foothill here. See, where I used to live in New Hampshire, we have Mount Washington, this big mountain that they say it has the worst weather, on planet Earth, and it's 6,288 feet. Okay, so, but here, 6,000 feet. I mean, that's a foothill. Mount Jade, our highest mountain. What is that? Oh, it must be from. Okay, our highest mountain is well over 4,000 meters. So it's way up there. Snow, on top of every winter. Snow's up there now. And a lot of places that Jevons, you guys know our friend Jevons from Periscope, a lot of places that he hikes have snow this time of year. So, All right. Wish I could take some calls. Now, what I did recently back home, in my studio, I made a huge mess. It's offline. I drilled a bunch of holes in the ceiling, installed pipes from the ceiling. And one of the pipes is a section, it's got ends that attach, and the section is in the middle that attaches to the ceiling. That's all my green screen. 7F, Well, Melbourne, you know, being in the southern hemisphere. Right now, I estimate the temperature here outside to be about 17 C. But there's no wind. See, where I live back in Hukou, in Hsinchu County, there's so much wind. So even though it's not that cold, the wind really bothers you after a while. But I have a 3-meter space now to hang my green screen, so that means more studio broadcast. And right in the middle of the studio space, I hung from the ceiling a V-shaped overhead, shaped like a V. And what that's for is that's to hang on hooks a soft mass quilt, a sound absorbing quilt to make a V behind for doing singing, vocals. So that was the missing element in my studio. And so with that in my large diaphragm condenser mic, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of vocal work in the next 2 to 3 weeks and finally making some progress. I've been doing a lot of pre-production and checking things out and figuring out what I want to do. And now that I know what I want to do, I'm eliminating all of the obstacles to finishing what I'm going to do. And part of it was not having a vocal space. See, the thing is, you really need to have some kind of a treated room, an actual studio, or a portable vocal booth. Some people make one out of a closet or something. Doesn't matter. You can make one out of a bathroom, as long as it's not too live. Bathroom's usually tiled. Should have some kind of absorption material. Generally speaking, whatever space you use should be about half hard and half soft, half reflective and half absorptive. And that would give you a desirable sound. So, but the result is, I had everything covered up. I'm drilling in concrete. My house is concrete and brick, and man. So when I get back, I still have a lot of cleaning to do. I'm done with the assembly, the installation, but I didn't clean up before I left to come here. So tomorrow afternoon, I know I'm going to be doing it. Vacuuming and mopping the floor. Oh. For those of you who just joined, we're drinking this wonderful, amazing Suntory strawberry beer. And we are eating these incredible, made in Taiwan, basil peanuts. Right, basil, the 9 Towers basil. And it is, I know I say this a lot, it really is off the charts. So guys, what's on your mind? Let's take some calls. Actually, my wife's company does have a toll-free number. Oh, really? I don't know who he was, But I'm sorry to hear that. More and more of the greats are passing away. And my question is, oh, okay. And my question is, who's replacing them? I mean, really. You know, Queen, their many members are all over 70. Same with Zeppelin. Journey's up there. Boston's up there, man. All those great bands, Bad Company, all them. Who's replacing them? I mean, I don't usually go looking for this stuff, but I saw a couple of the more modern bands and some shows that they did on YouTube, and it's all full of profanity. No one is. I mean, I saw a guy, and I mean, I heard the songs they're playing. They're okay, but you know, he can't introduce a song without the F word. It's like, what's wrong with your vocabulary? But, okay. So. Anyway. All those guys that I used to play with years ago, you know, the bands like the Showmen, the beach music bands, they're all gone. When I was 22 years old, I met, yeah, must be. That makes sense. I knew Bill Pinkney, who was the only original member of the Drifters that was still alive and still performing. I told you the story about him. And the time he came in with his hair was jet black and shiny. It was beautiful. I think I told you that story before. You guys that have been following me for a long time, you know I got these stories, and I don't want to repeat them too much. But all those guys from the Showmen, they're all gone, you know. But I played with the original, the Embers, the Clovers, the Coasters. Oh, actually, one of the shows that I played, the Coasters didn't show up. The Drifters, the Occasions. Yeah, great beach music bands. Norman Johnson, chairman of the board. He was the original, leader of the Showmen. And when I was playing with the Showmen, he'd already left and formed chairman of the board, but he came to check us out one time at a rehearsal. He was cool. And so I met him. Eddie Cornelius was in the audience one night. He jumped up on stage with us. I was 22 years old. Of course, I knew who he was. But right after he jumped up on stage and sang "Treat Her Like a Lady," and immediately after the song was over, he split. So I never got a chance to meet him. I would have enjoyed hanging out with him. So I learned a lot from those old cats, we used to call them. They were cool. I remember one time, I forget which singer it was. That might have been Asa. Anyway, from the Showman. His voice was hoarse. Now, I know it's hard to believe, but back then my nickname was Pretty Boy and Slim, so they called me Slim. And he said, he was like, "Hey, Slim, yeah, I got a cold." I was like, you going to be okay? You can sing, "Don't worry about me." And I was like, okay. And this is really was amazing. Because what I do remember, gosh, I can't remember who it was. I remember that this singer for the Showman was introducing a song, and he's talking to the audience like that. "We're going to play a song from 1964. And it all sounds like, you know, dude. He's like, "I got sunshine." It's like, couldn't talk, but could sing. And that put me onto it. I realized that. And years later, when I was working with an actual opera singer to improve my vocal technique and studying you know, the science of singing. It's when I realized you basically have two voices. You have a speaking voice and you have a singing voice, and they're not the same. And the techniques are different. And I've run into that myself. I remember I have done shows where I had a very high temperature in Fahrenheit, like 104, and really, really sick, but I could sing. And I remember one guy telling me the best show that I ever sang, I had a high temperature. I don't know why, but that's what he said. But, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now, some guys got both, like Bryan Adams, Michael Bolton. I don't know if you ever heard Michael Bolton talk, but when he talks, you kind of you get you get a feeling in your throat like you want to go. You listen to him talk. All right, these basil peanuts are fantastic. I got to put them away. This is my last one. This is the last bag. Now, I never counted these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 peanuts in a little bag. And they're kind of a dark green color. Fantastic. Anyway, I'm having such a great time here. This has been a beautiful evening. And a nice 2 days. And next week, we're going to be back home. But on Wednesday, my wife and Phoenix are leaving to go to Kaohsiung. And they're going to leave me at home for a couple of days. And on Saturday, next Saturday, I'm going to Kaohsiung. And that's where I often scope by... Yeah, I am. Thank you. You can tell, huh? Often scoped by the riverside. And so I'm going to be going to that place again. Probably, who knows? Probably won't go to the Cowboy Bar. Maybe one of the big night markets. I always go to the same one. There's another night market that I want to go to that I've never scoped. But the Liu He, I scoped that a number of times. Unfortunately, the snake meat place is gone from there. Last time I went, I didn't bother scoping it, done it so many times. Went with my family, and Phoenix loves that. She's just coming of age. See, we're taking her to places that we've taken her before, but she doesn't remember. She's a kid. And a lot of Japanese, Korean tourists there, European tourists, and loved it, but I was disappointed the snake place was gone. And I love my snake meat. Thank you very much. Thanks, Matthew. Take care. Yep. Well, yeah, that's what it's all about. In fact, I know recording artists that I used to hang out with, they take breakups, they turn them into hit songs, and that's how they cope with it. They go, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Okay, I'm going out for tonight. That's how they cope with it. Oh, this is good. It's time for the second one. We're going to pop this open. And for those of you who missed it last time, beautiful sound. It's not red. It's clear. This is the Suntory Strawberry Beer. No artificial colors. I don't know about artificial flavors. It doesn't taste that sweet. Although, I will say, in 100 milliliters, let's see, it's hard for me to read. Okay. It looks like it's got 8.16 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters, which would make it 8%. So it's not something you want to drink all the time. I just noticed that because most of these alcoholic drinks, they're not required to publish their nutritional information, which I think is wrong. I think anything that you eat or drink, I think that the manufacturers should have to disclose all of that. But that's carbohydrates, 8.3 grams, so it's 8.3%, and then sugar, 8.16. I think the way this is written, it's telling me that, yeah, almost all of those carbohydrates are from the sugar. Anyway, so this is great. I'm going back inside, folks. I'm not going to leave the camera on. Let me go back inside. I'm probably going to bring this. It's only 3% alcohol. I'm not worried about it. In the hot springs tub. And I think I'm going to soak in a hot springs tub for about 20 minutes. Put some of that turmeric ice stuff on my back. And call it a night. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like is going to happen. So I want to say thank you. Good to see you again on our usual Thursday night. We've had a great time. Nice, relaxing conversation. I appreciate it. Thanks for the questions and the comments. Fantastic. I thought about doing a hot tub scope. But the thing is, right, is yeah, the lens would fog up. Did we just have a copy bot? Did I just miss that? Yeah, the lens. I'd be going like this all the time, rubbing the lens. So you guys take care, and I'll let you know what's going on from the studio when I get back home and I get it cleaned up. We're gonna do some broadcasts with a green screen now too, as I can do some more music broadcasts. Here we go. Stupid copy bot. It's too late. The funny thing is, I go back later. Oh, there they are. I go back later, and they're gone. So, yeah. Well, they got them in the States. They don't have hot springs as prolifically, throughout the country as they do here. But yeah, yeah. I never went to the hot springs in the United States because they're all out in the west and the southwest, and I don't live there. I never spent any time out there. So when I came to Taiwan is when I really started getting into them. And this place here is great. This is only an hour from my house. And so they do have hot springs place. Now the cool thing is, you guys don't know this, if you have a piece of property and you want to build a house here, you can hire an engineering firm, and they will come out and they will drill and they will find hot springs water. It's all over the country. I know many people have done that. My friend Andre, his uncle, built an apartment complex. Thank you. And they drilled down. They got hot springs. They got hot springs water. House and my wife and I are looking at in Hsinchu. The whole community is hot springs water because the developer dug down. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to move. Yeah, it is. And the great part about it is too, because it is free. You can use it for a single pass water heater if you want to. It's geothermal. You're not wasting it. And you can't drink it, but you just have to drain it somewhere. No, it's minerals, usually carbonic acid. And so you will have some maintenance issues with it. You have to clean the pipes and things like that, and you have to know what you're doing. But yeah, a lot of people are doing that. You can have a one-pass geothermal water heating system that will heat the whole house, and the showers too. The carbonic acid, some of the places, it's different too. They also have cold springs in the east side of Taiwan. There are a number of cold springs. And the interesting thing is the different, if you look at the list in Chinese, it always tells the composition of the water. So some people go to this place because it's good for rheumatism. Some people go to this place because it's good for, skin problems. Like in Tainan, they have hot springs that has mud. It's a mud springs. The hot springs water full of mud suspended. And so at the bottom of the pool, you know, it precipitates out of the solution, and you've got like a, you know, this much mud in the bottom. And you see, especially the ladies will scoop this mud up and, you know, all over their face and their arms and their chest and everything. And they, you know, the mud softens the skin, and it does. Because I went to that very same one in Taiwan, and I put the mud on my skin, and it was incredible how soft and supple it was at the end. It's amazing. And so, yeah, there's different types of springs, and some of it is good to drink just to take a sip. That might be true. Gallardo, I've been to the Beito. I've been to one in Beito. That's possible. It wouldn't surprise me. But the one that I went to in Beito, it had the smell. There is a smell to it. And the resorts in Taiwan are not gender mixed unless it's clothing required. But I've been to a number of hot springs where the women go on one side, the men go on the other side, and it's naked hot springs. You're just naked with a guy sitting around smoking cigarettes, reading the paper, naked, you know, next to the hot springs, and jump in. But I prefer the private rooms, obviously, and then I can go with my family. Like this place here, you know, there's no public pool. Now the public pools, you have to wear a bathing cap. Geez, I guess I'm not going. I guess I'm not going yet. You have to wear a bathing cap. No saunas that I've ever seen. Saunas are very rare. You have to wear a bathing cap in all public pool places. It's a health law. You go to water park, bathing cap. You go to a swimming pool, bathing cap. You go to hot springs, bathing cap. And so what I usually do is I put my bush hat on outside, and it drives them nuts. They go, no, you can't wear that hat. So I pull it off. I got my bathing cap on. I don't like the way they look, but it's just, you know, yeah, that's a good policy. That's a good policy. And in Japan, you can do that, right? So in Japan, I mean, you can drive. You take a taxi to Tokyo, you see a businessman taking a leak in the sewer, right? So why not? That's funny. But yeah, they do the side of the road leak in here too. But seriously, the hot springs culture is actually from Japan. The Japanese colonized Taiwan, and the first hot spring resorts were on the East Coast. They were developed during the Japanese era, and they're still there, a lot of them. And in fact, down the road, there's a couple here. There's 3 that begin with the word stone, and they'll say things like Japanese style, and so, you know, and so we know what that is as opposed to Taiwan style. It has to do with the decorum and so forth. But Japanese are the ones that developed it, and when the nationalists came here, they realized, wow, this is pretty cool. And then they started springing up all over the place. You know, sorry about the pun. So now that we have them on the West Coast, so I know, I do too. That's one of the things I would miss. If I ever had to go back to the States, I would miss that. But it's an interesting question that Gallardo made about the about the fake hot springs. It could be, but the one I went to had the smell of it, and they do, but you have to go to the Midwest, Southwest. It's just, Mike, look up natural hot springs. Look up hot springs in the United States. They're all over. I mean, my friend Colby told me that when he lived in Utah, there's a hot springs that not too far from him. He'd go there all the time. He said a bunch of naked Indian women in there all the time. So it's like that was his favorite place to go. But here in Taiwan, in South Taiwan particularly, there are a number of natural places where it just bubbles out of the ground. And fortunately, there's one place where it's near a river, and so it mixes with river water. Otherwise, I mean, you can cook it; it's boiling hot. Sometimes it comes out as even steam. So they mixed with river water, and it's tolerable. And there's a place. A guy told me that you hike 4 hours, and it's a natural, kind of a bowl. But I'm not going 4 hours. I'm not going to hike 4 hours for that. I'll just drive an hour here and pay some money and hop in this thing. This is nice. But the tub has, you know, controls on it, obviously, and you can add cold water to it. But the carbonic springs, the carbonic water, carbonic acid water in particular, they recommend that you drink a little bit of it. Sometimes you'll see people with it, they'll take a little cup and drink it. It's supposed to be good for the digestion, but you don't want to, like, you know, sustain yourself on it. You don't want to drink like a, you know, a liter of it every day, but a couple of sips, yeah. And so there are some other formulas, and I'm not really an expert on it. I just know that when I look at the list of hot springs around Taiwan in Chinese, and I've seen some of the ones that were translated well into English that actually tell you the composition of the water, which is good, because you may want to know that. So that's our little hot springs introduction. Thanks, everyone. Going to go inside. It's local time now is 23:35, so it's 25 minutes until midnight Taiwan time. You take care. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining. It's been a pleasure. You take care. Have a good evening. Oh, don't want to do the shadow on my face. Take care, and we'll see. Let's see if it'll end this time or if we get the other show. So thank you very much. At least you had a good one. That's excellent. All right, Mike, take care. Thanks. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for sticking around, you guys. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time.